Hello and welcome to the Violin Podcast YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and also put on the bell notification so that way you get updated for any DIY tutorials, violin tips, interviews, etc. So a few videos ago we were talking about how to hold the violin, how to get a good bow hold. Today we're actually going to learn about how to make a sound on the violin. Here we go. So once you understand how to hold the violin on your shoulder and how to hold the violin bow with your right hand, we actually need to learn how to make a sound. So there are a couple of things that you need to make sure that you do. First of all, have some rosin. Make sure that your bow has rosin, and typically what I like to do a few swipes back and forth. Rosin gives friction to the bow hair, so that way you can get a nice accurate sound from the instrument. Number two, you have to understand where the bow needs to be placed on the string. When you're making a sound on the violin, you have to remember one thing, that our position, our performance position, is always in some kind of a box. And when you pull the string, the bow and the string is perpendicular. And we always want to make sure that when we're starting off on the violin, we have that perpendicular bow and string, like a T from your angle. Now, another thing to remember is to make sure that your bow is not too far to the fingerboard and not too close to the bridge. So when I teach my students how to make a sound on the violin, we cannot go too close to the bridge because they don't understand how to put enough weight on the bow for the tension to get that really articulate sound. So I usually recommend each beginner to start in the middle between the fingerboard and the bridge. And also to point out, if I play out here, I'm essentially using the same type of weight, and then, but you can see that there's a drastic difference. So doing it right in the middle will get you a nice solid sound. One little quick tip that I offer to my students is making sure that your bow is not too tight. You know, you'll notice that there's a curvature to my bow right over here. If I tighten this up, you'll notice that there's like almost two parallel lines right here. That is, for one, it's not going to be good for your bow in the long run if it's a wooden bow, and two, you're going to get a harsher sound, and your bow hold and the amount of weight that you put on your bow is going to be messed up. So you don't really want to have the bow as tight as you might think. Next tip I would offer anyone who's watching this video to get a good sound, or to even get a sound, is to make sure that you're not squeezing with your bow hand. And what I mean by that is that if you're squeezing, you might have that really scratchy sound. And of course, we don't want that when we're starting to learn violin. Or this is even a good tutorial for anyone who is just trying to get a better sound. They know how to more or less put the bow on the string, but they don't know how to get a nice quality sound. So this is for you guys. We're going to create a sound. I always recommend making sure you have that box frame. Either way, the box frame, even if you end up going this way, some of us might have shorter arms than others. And this is fine, as long as that box ends up somewhere on the down bow or the up bow. So you might see right here that I have a box right here. And for me, I happen to have long arms, so I'm able to do this with ease, but some of you might not have long arms, and that's okay. So when you go on a down bow, it may turn out that you have a box like in the middle of the bow, but then your arm shortens and you might have to do this. And that's okay. Some of us, it will happen to some of us. Now, to help avoid this problem, bring the violin a little closer in so it's easier for you to go up and down. So I have this box right here. Beginners have a tough time in keeping the elbow up as they play the violin. And keeping the elbow up has many benefits. Of course, your you're not gonna have a very heavy sound, but keeping the elbow a little higher and the hand relaxed, which will be my next tip, is you will have a better idea that you will have a, a more organic sound. People say organic, and making sure that you're not manipulating the bow hold any way, shape, or form. And keeping the elbow high and moving the forearm up and down will help with this problem. Now, I mentioned keeping your hand relaxed. If you go ahead and click on the DIY bow hold video, I explain how to get the bow hold that you want, so make sure you check that out. So once you have a relaxed bow hold right here, you don't want to squeeze. A lot of students like to squeeze with the thumb and the second finger. You definitely don't want to do that. You want to make sure that the thumb and the second finger are actually relaxed. And just actually a brief review. If you have a tense hand, make sure you put your right hand out, relax the hand, and then put the bow in. And this is actually as relaxed as your bow hold will be. So keeping all the previous steps in mind, keep your bow perpendicular on the string, have a elbow that's high enough, and pull the bow. And that's it for the getting the good sound video. And if you have any ideas on what kind of videos I should make sure you leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, concerns on anything violin related. I'd be happy to help out. That's what this channel is for. And thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, again, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. And also make sure you turn on the bell notifications, because that's when you know I have a new video out and you can watch right away straight into your mailbox. And also a reminder that I'm doing a giveaway for 100 subscribers for my first 100 on the Violin Podcast YouTube channel. So please make sure to subscribe, and we hope that I can give a free Violin Podcast mug. Until next time, see ya.